Look, I should just mention that transcendence is, in a way, an incredibly varied thing. I can remember a little public library on the seafront in Clacton-on-Sea decades ago now, and I'd be reading, sunny sun coming in the place, and I'd been reading and thinking of something spiritual. I don't know what I was reading. And I don't mean necessarily something religious. I mean philosophical, deep in thought. I go out, walk along the cliffs. It's a small seaside town, you know. Brinton-on-Sea. No, Clacton, sorry. Yeah. I was a trainee social worker at the time. So, you know, God was moving in my life in the sense that I was now aware of God in that sense, strongly. And I'd be in a different world in my mind, transcendent. As if I'd passed through a portal into an enlightenment. An astonishing thought being state. I don't know how to explain it. Walk along down the slope, perhaps to the path along the bottom next to the low sea wall next to me and the beach and the sound of the sea, of course. But I can't remember the environment that well. I mean, I do remember it, but what impresses me is the transcendence, the feeling. As if you come close to the knowing of the presence of God. Bewildered by, rather than stunned by. In other words, suppose God in all his glory and infinite, one who could create all, even my very being, but coming to me in the mildest of ways, that I don't just burn up in his presence, but on the contrary, feel his kindness of touch, almost touch, not quite. You know the way they've got this picture of the iron hand but in a velvet glove? Well, I'm talking about an infinite personhood, but in a friendly costume. It's the way Arjuna begs God after the revelation of chapter 11, where he's given the godly ability of vision and sees the infinite, what seems to be him, the infinite magnificence of God, but he knows in his heart he's only seeing a tiny corner of it. And he begs God, literally, he's just saying, please appear to me again as my friendly charioteer, Krishna. My dear friend, in the clothes, so to speak, in the personhood that I feel at ease with and just so happy to be with. I just want just a touch of your loveliness. I know I cannot take the fullness of your glory. It's far, far too much for anybody. Come to me in your friendly robes again, would you? As my charioteer. I can handle that. I just want to say, and I can't, how much I love you, dearest one. Thank you, Dad. Yeah, I mean, you may think of the Jesus story, but perhaps you should have a look at the Bhagavad Gita, Sir Edwin Arnold's version, recommended by Paramahansa Yogananda. Sir Edwin Arnold's translation of the Bhagavad Gita, and I think it's called, in fact, the Song Celestial. And, well, the story is about a battle. It's a family battle, but on a national scale. And there's goodies and baddies in it, of course. But they're all your family. And Arjuna's bewildered at the start of the battle when he realizes, I'm going to be killing my own relatives here. I can't fight, Krishna. I have no stomach for this battle. And we're not talking about a battle, you see. I mean, it sounds as though we're talking about, and it's just an allegory. It's what's going on in your being. You're in an incredible battle within. And it's all you. Both sides. Relatives on both sides. Parts of you that are going to be killed in this battle. And others that are going to be in eternal victory. And you're all of this. It's a spiritual war that's raging and has brought you to this world, in fact, as I understand it. That's why you're here. It's why you've chosen to be here. That you have a scrap, a point to make, a bone to pick. You're going to sort this out. In the world of transitory things, that it can all be lost in the eternity of the past, and you continue forever in a heavenly eternity of being, which is beyond future and past and all time. The kingdom of God, by which we mean your home, your family, your true place, who you are, dearest one. And you are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms, despairing of the port. And God comes to your rescue in the form of a story. That story might be the Bhagavad Gita, might be the story of Jesus. Every religion has its hopeful story. You might dismiss it as mythology, fairy tales. But fairy tales are the very essence of our training into civilization. And myths and stories are likewise the key to our eternal salvation, life eternal. If you but knew it, if we but knew it. We can only find out by practicing it, of course. Otherwise it's just head knowledge. In one ear and out the other. Been processed and stored and forgotten. I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. In fact, life eternal. Whatsoever is good and lovely, think on these things. Your gratitude will well up inside you, and you will be swept along on an ocean wave of hope and joy and peace and enlightenment. You will be transcendent. It's as simple as that. And the rest is noise, almost irrelevant, just foam. Have you sat on a beach with someone you love? Or just walked down the street? Or sat at a bus stop with someone you love? Book of verse underneath the bough, a loaf of bread, a jug of wine, and thou beside me singing in the wilderness. Our wilderness, our paradise are now. That's Omar Khayyam, the Rubaiyat. Don't know how you spell Rubaiyat, but you probably do. The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. And that's a Muslim, of course. Don't dismiss these religions. They all have something of absolute treasure to teach. Oh, they've all got their faults. And they won't admit to their faults, of course, because they're religions, aren't they? There's no humility in religion, not really. Even the statement of humility is really to show how wonderfully humble we are. It's Monty Python, really, isn't it? It's children. We're in fairyland, thank God. And it will all be rolled up like a scroll, and you'll realize your true self in heavenly places, eternally, both with God and all the host of heaven. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.